I'm sorry, I got interrupted again. I was kind of expecting this. Of course I remember, it's February 1921. First of all, it's March. Is it really? Can never tell when it's raining all year around anyway. You kind of get like that weather in England. Oh, fine, I'll tell you. It's our anniversary. Our what? It's been 20 years since the night we first met. Oh. Is that something to celebrate? Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm actually not the person to celebrate those dates, but I know that most women do like to celebrate those dates. But I'm more like Edgar. I do not remember them and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm not good with that. Okay, joke about it. Pretend to be annoyed. Let's make it like impactful. You don't value me at all. She slaps his arm, not with any real strength, obviously, or she'll break him. You weren't seriously expecting an anniversary gift, were you? What if I was? Then I'll warn you not to expect one for our 13th either. 30 years working together in the same city. Will we get that far? Do I even want to? Edgar eyes her awkwardly. You're not actually upset, are you? No, just sorely disappointed by your lack of camaraderie. Edgar lights a cig, barely hiding a grin when he shows it between his lips. Circe smirks back at him. This kind of banter has long been part of their daily routine. She provokes him. He retorts with some snark. They laugh or roll their eyes, then rinse and repeat. It had taken a while to get here, of course. When they first met, Edgar was so angry with the world, he took everything as an insult. He's mellowed out over the years, gotten better at reserving his anger for when it's actually warranted. Most of the time. I should let our client know that we didn't get the wangling. It's annoying, but they don't have any other option. Their anonymous client was clear in their instructions. Seth must die tonight or else no reward. With Seth in the SSF's custody, there's no way they can get to him before the sun's up. I just realized we'll have to return the deposit, won't we? It's the right thing to do. Can we afford to do that? Per your request, we've taken fewer jobs as of late, so we're stretched even thinner than usual. If we want to feel more secure about keeping the light on, you could take a few more cases. Or spend less on clothes. Why would I do either of those things when you're always working so hard to make sure we're a month ahead on rent? I've only got so much hair, Circe. And I've only got so many dresses. Edgar heaves a sigh. Thought you might say that. I'll just take it out of my own pay then. Oh my god. She nods, pleased with his quick thinking. Anyway, that can all wait till tomorrow. Let's go to the Golden Cat and celebrate our 20th anniversary. A pub frequented by supernaturals. Its name is based on the original owner's cat. Both Circe and Dante frequent the Golden Cat after work. You don't need to use our anniversary as an excuse. We go there every night. But tonight will be special. Drinks on me. Well, technically, it's our rapidly depleting business funds that we'll be paying, but the sentiment stands. You sure know how to spoil a bet. So that's a yes? Yes, yes. All right, just let me fetch my coat. Why do I feel like I'm forgetting something important? They share a knowing look. I only know one person who knocks like that. You take it. But I always answer the door. Only because you're so good at it. Edgar puts out his cig and walks over to the door, opening it to reveal Mrs. Harris. Edgar, Circe, thank goodness you're still here. Mrs. Harris, their next-door neighbor, rushes inside. The elderly neighbor who lives next door to Thorn Investigations. She never complains about the strange guests who frequent her neighbors at odd hours. She's a kind old woman who thankfully never complains about suspicious people going in and out of Thorn Investigations at all hours. Helps that her eyesight isn't what it used to be. Same goes for her hearing, actually. Oh, I'm so sorry to bother you. I know how busy you are doing your detective work, saving the day and all that, but I can't find my baby anywhere. Yeah, it's the cat. That's what she forgot. Her baby being her cat, Ellie. I feel awful bringing this to you at this hour, but would you mind having a look for her? I couldn't sleep knowing she's somewhere out there, cold and alone and lost. Shivering to death. My poor baby. Her wailing's loud enough to wake up the entire building. Edgar starts to sweat. Edgar doesn't look like he's in the mood to go on a cat hunt. Luckily for him, they won't have to. Good news, we already found her. Her bawling immediately stops. You did? Yes, she's upstairs. She is? Edgar guides Mrs. Harris to the sofa. She sinks into it with relief. Oh, how lucky I am to have the city's finest detectives as my neighbors. It's not that hard to find someone who's hiding inside your own home. Circe retrieves Ellie from upstairs, hesitantly returning her to her owner. Edgar watches the exchange with amusement. He's been nagging for ages that she should just stroll down to the shelter and pick up a cat of her own. Sadly, I lack the confidence to keep something living alive. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Mrs. Harris hugs the cat to her chest. Ellie lets out a not-so-pleased meow. You've saved my baby again. How can I ever repay you two? Can give us money. since we need it. It's nothing. We're glad to help you anytime, free of charge. Nonsense. I'll bake you biscuits and bring them over tomorrow. Does she eat biscuits since she's a vampire? I don't know. knowing she wouldn't even be able to eat them. Yeah. And no good could come from having Mrs. Harris lurking around unless necessary. Circe tries to tell her. There's really no need, but maybe Edgar wants. We'd love that. Thank you so much. Seriously? Edgar looks offended. I'm always serious about dessert. Oh, he's the sweet type. The sweets type. Very good, Mr. Thorne. It is important for growing boys to eat plenty. Good joke. The only thing Edgar's growing is a pitiful beard. Edgar rubs his jaw. And for that, you need plenty of calories. Sure. Circe gently gets Mrs. Harris up out of her chair and guides her to the door. Whole way there, Mrs. Harris rambles about what she's going to bake tomorrow. Circe almost has to shove her out of the door. When it's finally shut behind her, Circe turns to glare at Edgar. What? It would be foolish of me to turn away free food. Anyway, with Mrs. Harris gone, there's only one thing left to do. Drinks? Drinks. The Golden Cat is almost the polar opposite of Elysium. All supernaturals and even a few humans who are in the know come here. As long as you keep your fangs, claws, wands, whatever you've got to yourself, you're welcome to pop in for a drink. Entering the pub, Circe's eyes immediately hone in one guest in particular. Oh, look, it's your little friend. Who's this guy? Oh, okay. He's part of the crime ones, right? Working with Dante. Raoul, a local cop with muscles that aren't just for show, he's seated near the bar, nursing a beer in one hand. So Dante's partner officer and one of the few humans in the SCD. Thanks to his family's connections and knowledge, Raoul got glimpses into the world of supernaturals very early, and his fascination with it has only grown, ultimately resulting him in joining the SCD. But he's your friend. Last I checked, your only friend. I have other friends. There's Richard back in my hometown, though I haven't spoken to the brat in some time, or even though about him in a while. And there's you. We're friends, aren't we? Oh, of course. Embarrassed by how much his words mean to her, Circe is quick to change the subject. Thankfully, Edgar doesn't seem to mind, looking more than a little flustered himself. By the way, Raoul's like gay, right? What makes you say that? He's never responded to any of my flirting. Perhaps he's just not into you. No, he's definitely gay. She only flirts with Raoul to mess with Edgar. But it still surprises her Edgar hasn't noticed his friends not into women. Is he really so oblivious, or is Raoul just that private? Maybe it's easier for her to tell because she also enjoys the company of her own sex. Wait, you've been flirting with him? That's what he was mulling over? They walk up to Raoul. Edgar greets him first. Evening, Raoul. Did you get off work early tonight? Edgar and Raoul have an interesting friendship, if you can call it that. They meet up every few weeks, but it's never a planned thing. They'll just sit next to each other and chat over a few drinks, bonding over being humans in a world of supernaturals, or whatever. Oh, hello, Edgar. Unfortunately, I'm technically still on the clock. Good to see you as well, Circe. Have you been well? Raoul nods to Circe, acknowledging her too. He's smiling, but she can tell if it's out of politeness or if he's genuinely happy to see them. Sure. But what about you? Are you here on official business? Anything we should look out for? Well, she takes a look around. Where's your pup, by the way? Rare to see you without him. Barely a moment after he's mentioned, Circe watches Dante, Raoul's police partner, step inside the bar. Okay, so Dante was like the other character that we could choose, and I actually just did like a tiny bit, like nothing basically. But I could see that if you choose Dante, the story is different. So you kind of have two stories that are told in a different way in here. Dante, a half human, half hellhound, who works in the supernatural crime division. Yeah, so he's not a vampire. He has another story. Having struck a deal with his boss and late mother's friend Orion, Dante is unable to resign for the moment. To protect his real identity, Dante pretends to be a werewolf. The only one who knows the truth is Orion. Speak of the devil. Or werewolf, I guess, if we're being technical. Dante looks a little out of sorts, hair sticking up even more than usual. He notices them immediately, but doesn't even spare them as much as a grunt of acknowledgement. Rubbing his arm, he instead stops at the other side of the bar to order a beer. I've always thought of him as a loose cannon waiting to burst, but he looks especially on the edge tonight. Something's rattled him. Then again, Dante's never behaved the way you would expect an officer to. Perhaps that's why I mind him less. Is he avoiding us? I think he can hear you. Yes, that was the point. She raises her voice. Perfect timing, Dante. We were just talking about you. What? No, we weren't. You do realize that when you say it like that, you only sound more suspicious. Circe? Raoul rests his chin on his palm, watching the scene with a little too much amusement for her liking. For some reason, Dante seriously freaks Edgar out. Now, this shouldn't be so surprising because Edgar's been easily scared as long as Circe has known him. However, he's especially intimidated by Dante. I kind of wonder, can we date him when we pick her view? And can he date her when we pick his side? I don't actually know. To his defense, Dante does look like he'll punch your lights out if you look at him the wrong way on the wrong day. But you'd have to be pretty stupid to try something on Eddie while I'm around. In the meantime, Dante has picked up his beer and walked over. He offers a nonchalant wave with his free hand, which is probably as good of a greeting as they'll get from him. Did you forget to brush your hair this morning, or did you run into trouble on your way here? If anyone's picking on you, you can always let me know. I don't like animal abuse. Just run into Abraxas. Seen him recently? Being reminded of Abraxas' existence again sets a frown on her face. Not really. When Dante smirks, Circe knows he's gotten exactly what he wanted by bringing up Abraxas. I heard he and his agents were snooping around that museum that exploded, interviewing potential witnesses. A museum? An explosion? Could that be related to why Abraxas needed Seth? Guess they'll be wandering all around the city till that's sorted, keeping an eye on things. If you haven't run into him yet, I'm sure you will a lot. His smugness shifts to curiosity. Heard anything about that, though? Not sure what you're asking me for. I haven't got a clue what they're up to, and speaking from experience, it's best if it stays that way. Actually, why do you care? Aren't the SSF and the police supposed to stay out of each other's business as much as they can? Unless it's related to whatever the two of you are working on. Raoul won't tell us anything, but maybe you will? You didn't give me the chance to say anything. As if you would have told me the truth if I did. She could have forced him to. If she really wanted to, she could use compulsion on either of them right now, and there wouldn't be much they could do about it. Sometimes I feel like there's a need of punctuation here, some phrases and stuff. Dante's trickier because he's about as stubborn as one gets, but Raoul's only human. She wouldn't, though, not because she's squeamish about compelling either of them. She's just not curious enough. Still, if Dante will tell her anything, she'll take it. Well, since you asked so nicely... No. You suck. I don't, that's your job. Edgar, itching to get away from Dante, interrupts. Okay, well, you two look busy and we're in desperate need of a drink. We'll leave you to it. But, come on, Circe, you've bothered them enough for tonight. How dare you? I'm perfectly lonely and pleasant to be around. Raoul waves to Edgar. Good to see you, Edgar. Yeah, cheers. Edgar takes her arm and she begrudgingly lets him pull her to another corner of the bar. They nab their usual seats close to the bartender. When they drink a lot, so it's good to have easy access. In order to maintain some level of dignity, we've agreed to never discuss exactly how much of our income goes to the Golden Cat. The bartender is swift. In a minute, they have their usuals in front of them. Some cocktail for Edgar and a totally not conspicuous glass of red wine for Circe. So, when are we going to address the elephant in the room? Edgar sips his cocktail, raising a single brow at Circe's question. I'm talking about your addiction to sugar. Should be criminal to even call that drink. It's about 1% alcohol and 109% sugar. Not quite sure those numbers add up. Besides, what right do you have to judge anyone's choice of drink when you order the same thing every night? Why waste money on alcohol when it just spoils the taste of what I really want? I thought alcohol enhanced the taste of blood. Actually, I can't believe I've never asked you that before. Yeah, does it enhance? I don't know. She knows exactly why he hasn't asked. With each year that passes, Edgar grows more determined to avoid acknowledging what she really is. Depends on the vamp, but nothing will ever beat drinking it fresh from the tap. And have you started doing that again? She doesn't miss the regret in his eyes before he averts them. Still, she can't help the irritation she feels at what he's insinuating. Not since I ended things with Lazarus, you know that. Right. But you think that's a lie. I didn't say that. Even if I were doing it, I'm not like that fangling I met tonight. I have self-control. I'm fully capable of making my own decisions. I don't drink from people who don't want me to, and I certainly don't drain people, so you can stop looking at me like I beat your pasty ass. Edgar's face falls in his hands, but his trembling shoulders do little to conceal his laughter. It's not funny, I'm annoyed with you. I know, I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm annoyed? Sorry you said it in the first place? Both? She's grinding now too. Then why the laughter? Why'd you have to call me pasty? You know I've been trying really hard to build a tan. You should give up on that. You're only adding to that constellation of freckles on your face. I like freckles. Thought you liked my freckles. I said that? Well, I must have been lying, since I'm apparently lying about everything these days. He grimaces. Seems he thought she was going to let that one get swept under the rug. I'm sorry, Circe. I didn't mean to accuse you. I know you're not like that. I know you wouldn't. It's just hard to forget the shit I've seen, the things I know you're capable of if you weren't held back by your own morals. It always comes back to this, huh? Edgar only likes the Circe who stands up against her own kind and looks out for the weak. Not the Circe who lures strangers into her bed and sucks their blood. I don't know how to tell him that I'm both. So I don't. Nothing's holding me back. You make it sound like I'm forced to do this, but I choose it. I choose to. It's not an easy choice. She's been like that fangling. She's been worse, and it was fun. But she doesn't want to know how Edgar will look at her if she confesses that to him. I understand. Except he doesn't. Therein lies the problem. Edgar clears his throat and puts on a smile that trembles at the corners. We're here to celebrate. We should talk about happier things, shouldn't we? Courtesy of decades of practice, the smile she puts on herself is a lot more convincing. Right. Like your girly choice of drink. We're still on that? Hey, aside from the increased risk of diabetes, I find it cute that you have a sweet tooth. Oh, he's 44. Okay. At 44 years old, so he was 24 at that time. At 44 years old, being described as cute is no longer very flattering, but Wait a second. He presses a finger to his lips, then motions to the radio playing on the counter. The news is on. They still have a radio like this? Local authorities. Oh yeah, because we are in the beginnings of the 90s. It was 86, I think. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Local authorities have stated a gas leak caused the explosion of Beaumont Museum last night. The Beaumont. A private museum belonging to the Beaumont, a historically renowned wizard family. The only known living member of the Beaumont family is Renaud Beaumont, who retired decades ago and hasn't been heard of since. Most of its exhibitions are off limits to humans, but there is a public wing to keep up the appearance of being a normal museum. Besides the public wing, all other exhibitions are only available to visitors upon visitation. Due to a recent incident, the museum is closed until further notice. So this is like the incident that the other guy was talking about, that Dante was talking about, right? Beaumont Museum, that's where Dante said the SSF were digging around, right? The museum's doors will remain closed to the public till repairs on the private wing are complete. Blah, blah, blah. Among other news, the body of 23 years old James Stewart was found last night. Earlier this month, Miss Stewart was reported missing. My God, has human news always been this boring? It's always the same thing. Someone was robbed, someone was murdered, someone was kidnapped. At least there's an explosion involved this time, but what's the aftermath? The next day, there's something else, not anything worse, but nothing better either. You don't have to listen to the news to know how terrible the world can be. Just step aside. Just step outside, sorry. Ever been? Edgar and Circe look up at the bartender. What? To Beaumont Museum? It's owned by one of the greatest wizards of our time. Wizards and witches. Oh, you have like wizards and witches in here too. You have like vampires, werewolves, wizards and witches, a subspecies of humans born with the ability to use their life force as magic. Their substantial life force grants them double, sometimes even triple, the life expectancy of normal humans. They are immune to most human diseases. Although it varies from one wizard to another, no wizard has an unlimited life force. When a wizard has exerted their supply, they must take time to rest and recover. Otherwise, they may experience magic sickness. Magic sickness is curable in the early stages, but if the wizard continues to ignore the warning signs, they risk never being able to use magic again. In the absolute worst cases, it can even led to death. Throughout history, wizards have formed several societies ranging from smaller covens to larger communities. So this, like the glossary and stuff like that. My personal opinion. I am not actually a big fan of the glossary and dictionaries that they put on visual novels. I am not usually the type of person that clicks on the words. I'm being serious. I'm usually not that type of person. Because for me, it makes more sense to let the story tell me the things than me clicking on things to understand things behind. But each person to their own, like each person with their thing. And me personally, I usually don't like this type of thing, but I'm open. What I'm trying to say is that I'm open to this, but not actually my thing, like clicking and trying to understand things. And we have this especially in otome games, we have this constantly, the clicking and trying to understand what's behind the words. Renaud Beaumont. Never heard of him. What makes him so great? Many things. For starters, Circe doesn't bother to listen, focused on twirling her drink around her glass, but Edgar nods along, genuinely interested for whatever reason. Anyway, he has to be ancient now. He retired from the public eye decades ago. If he's even still alive, it wouldn't surprise me if he didn't know what's happened to his family's museum. What we should set it on, maybe we should set it on fire again and make sure he gets the memo this time. You wouldn't actually, would you? Want to find out? You have an annoying habit of doing the opposite of what I ask you to, so no comment. The bartender leaves to serve another customer. Edgar starts patting his pockets. Bollocks, I'm all out. Okay. Don't hold yourself back on my account. The corner shop should still be open. Sure you don't mind me leaving you alone? He's already climbed to his feet. I think I'll live, or at least not die. Again. I'll be back in no time. And he's gone. Sugar, coffee, cigarettes, humans sure have a lot of stupid vices. She stares down at her drink. Not that mine are any better. She sips slowly, letting her eyes roam the room. She's not sure where the compulsion comes from. It's not as if she'll discover anything new. It's always the same old faces. No, wait. She is definitely new. Circe meets eyes with a woman at the far end of the pub. Beauty is no stranger to Circe. She's seen it in many faces, many bodies, even a few hearts. But this woman isn't just beautiful. She's... The woman smiles. Circe feels compelled to return the smile. Let's smile back, kind of like provoke her to see what she does. Circe returns the smile but looks back down at her drink just as quickly. Yeah, that's kind of like the type of action that I wanted her to do. Not looking to hook up with anyone tonight. Although that's a bit presumptuous of her, maybe the woman was just being nice. Not really looking for nice either. Wait. Circe's head snaps up, but the woman is already gone, nowhere to be seen. Only in her absence does Circe realize that she couldn't detect what the woman was. Whoever or whatever that woman was, she means trouble. Want her, forget her. I don't know where we're going with this. To be honest, I wasn't expecting the demo to keep going for so far. I think we're going to forget her just because I don't know if it's going to give me a bad ending or something. So I think I'm going to forget her for now. That's likely the last I'll ever see of her. But if she ever does show her face again, it won't matter. There's nothing special about her. No matter how much Circe might wish there was something there, anything, if only to cure the perpetual boredom eating away at her. Preoccupied by her thoughts, Circe barely notices Edgar's return. He slips off his jacket, slides back into his seat, and gestures for another round of drinks from the bartender. What took you so long? Run into some trouble. Don't be stingy with the details. What kind of trouble? He lights a cigarette, angling his body towards her. Their knees brush, but neither move away. Used to the lack of personal space. Well, so you see... No, never mind. Are you blushing? My God, you are. Not on purpose. Unfortunately, I don't think it's me having this effect on you, so it must be something else. Edgar twists and squirms in his seat. Or someone else. Oh my God, what? Was asked though... I don't know what to say. Was asked though tornadate? Oh my God, is this a thing? I don't know. He spits the words out so fast, Circe would have missed them if not for her supernatural hearing. You're messing with me. I wish I was. This is stressing me out. Wait, you said yes? What? Obviously, I said no. It was like something at a date, was it? Why would it be obvious? Was something wrong with her? Yeah, I think it was something like a date. No, she was pretty and nice and smelled good. Too many details now. Sorry, I just thought she had a nice perfume. It's probably the same woman that was like staring at us. Sorry, I just thought she had a nice perfume. You'll like it, actually. You are only making it weirder. I said no because it would never have worked. She's human. Aren't you human too? As are you. But I don't live like one. Excuses. Think about it for a second. I run a supernatural detective agency. How do I explain that to someone outside this business? Not to mention how I'm up all night, asleep most of the day. No sane normal person would want to be with someone like me. Oh, come on. So what if she doesn't fit into your normal schedule? You make time when you're in love. Love? God, I definitely don't have time for that. Not when there's clients to be managed and bills to be paid and you don't have to work all the time, Eddie. You could take off one night of drinking to get laid. Shh, what if someone hears you? Oh, come on, you're a grown man. You can possibly still be embarrassed by the word sex. I'm not, but we're in public. Sex. Jesus Christ. Breeding, mating, copulating, fornicating, and what is it you Brits say? Shagging. Circe is cackling like a madwoman while Edgar hisses under his breath. Circe, I'm begging you to stop. Edgar looks about ready to explode from embarrassment, anxiously glancing around to make sure no one's heard her. Circe doesn't have the heart to remind him that they are at a bar for supernaturals. Almost everyone's guaranteed to have overheard. Anyway, wouldn't it be nice to be with someone even if it's only for the night? Edgar laughs, shaking his head more to himself than in response to her words. Somehow, I prefer to be here. out with me? I wouldn't necessarily consider your presence to be an advantage. But yes, I prefer to be here with you. Circe brings her glass to her lips, hiding her smile behind it. I don't know. It's a good thing he said that. It's a shame he said no. Okay, let's be... In a way, it's a shame he said no. She doesn't want their routine to change, but she also doesn't want Edgar to feel like he can't ever have a life outside Thorn investigations. And her. Then again, he can't really keep doing this and be normal. She's not sure how she would react if he no longer had as much time for her. Last time she lost her only sense of stability in the world, she didn't exactly take it well. Of course, there are people like Raoul and Dante's superior, Orion, who have human families and try to live as normal as possible. But Orion's an anomaly, and with time vampires like him learn the hard way that rejecting your nature never works in the long run. Edgar's different. He could pack his bags, move cities, and go back to living a normal life whenever he wants. As long as he remains here, though, he'll never be able to pull the wool back over his eyes. Edgar taps out his cig in the nearest ashtray. Enough about that. Did I miss anything around here? Nope. For some reason, it doesn't feel right to mention the mysterious woman. Maybe because she knows how Edgar worries and she doesn't want him to start. The bartender slides their new drinks towards them. They clink glasses. To 20 years of this hellish profession. And to 20 more. In the end, Edgar has one too many drinks. He leans on Circe the entire walk back to his flat. She stops when they reach his building. He's never invited her upstairs before, and she doubts it will be any different tonight. Will you make it upstairs on your own? Why wouldn't I? He pushes off of her and stumbles up the stairs to the entrance. He almost falls over several times, but by some miracle, he manages to reach the door without breaking any bones. See, He hiccups. Perfectly fine. Right. See you tomorrow night. He waves her goodbye. She waves back. Good night. She waits until he's safely inside the building. Chances are low he'll die on his way up the lift, so Circe begins to stroll back to her own flat. She walks at a leisurely pace, like the threat of the rising sun won't be upon her any moment now. Like her slow pace might delay the inevitable day. Circe strips down to her underwear. Her one-bedroom flat has no bed, only a sofa, so that's where she lies down. Outside, the sun slowly rises, and the world Circe will never get to be a part of again wakes up. She stares up at the ceiling, trying not to think about the growing resentment she feels every time she has to hide away from the sun. I didn't always hate daytime. When her common sense returns after her fangling year, Circe had found that the day offered endless opportunities for self-improvement. She read novels, she meditated, she brushed up her history, learned martial arts, studied different languages, read some more, slept with all kinds of people, men, women, people who didn't really identify as either. Half of the time, she didn't even fathom them. She liked to cuddle in bed afterwards, basking in their heat. When films became a thing, she found herself obsessed with cinema, lived hundreds of different lives through the stories of others. But like everything else, it soon got dull, hiding herself in escapism to distract herself from her own thoughts. Lately, she can't be bothered to do much of anything anymore. Is this all there is to eternity? An endless cycle of wanting and no longer wanting? Forever falling in and out of love with what once meant the world to you? If she shuts her eyes, if she pretends hard enough, she can almost imagine she's dreaming. Where do her dreams bring her today? Okay, the right way to do this would be like going in a straight line, like we already kind of gave a hint to Edgar. So we probably should continue with Edgar, but let's go to Abraxas. Let's see what's going on. I mean, this is just a demo, so it doesn't matter, right? Just picturing that self-righteous face of his irritates her. Nope. Not even worth thinking about for a second. Okay. Let's go to Edgar. Yeah, she's going to the mysterious woman. Eddie's funny when he's drunk. Though most of their nights might end at the Golden Cat, Edgar rarely drinks enough to get wasted. His love of tobacco might send him to an early grave, but at least alcohol poisoning won't a small comfort, since he only drinks like sweet things. Yeah, the mysterious woman. Who was she? More importantly, what was she? Every person has a distinct aura. Some call it life force, some call it the soul. We had like it was wizards and witches. Maybe she's a witch. Whatever you like to call it, everyone has it. Not everyone can detect it, but Circe is trained to ensure she never misses it. So the fact that she'll miss this one, it unsettles her. It unsettles her very much. She continues to dream. She tries her best to fight against the current of her thoughts, but somehow they always lead back to him. Is it the maker? Don't think about him. Don't you dare. You already know how this ends. You already know how this ends. I suppose. I don't know. Against her will, Circe remembers him. Open your eyes. Look into my eyes. See yourself as you truly are, as you were always meant to be. This is the maker, I suppose. I'm afraid. For us, fear is a choice. Oh, sorry, it was him. For us, fear is a choice. When she opens her eyes and looks into his, she doesn't see herself. She sees him. And only him. Beautiful. He whispers, reverent. I will never make anything as beautiful as you again. But sire, you did not make me. I did. His spindly fingers caress her skin with such tenderness, she foolishly mistakes it for fondness. I delivered you from death. I rendered you invulnerable to the horrors of time. I captured you in the moment you were the most beautiful you ever would be. Beautiful. Forever. She holds the monster's stare, my eternal companion forever. The sun has set again, but Circe only snaps out of her daydreams when she hears the balcony door open. She doesn't have to get up to guess who's broken into her flat. She'll recognize those steps anywhere. You better have a good reason for this, Abraxas. She stands up to glare at him. His eyes linger on her lack of attire for no longer than what is polite. I apologize for the impromptu visit, but it could not wait. Would you please put some clothes on? Then, of course, I shall explain my unconventional entrance. Tease him, taunt him. What is he still doing here? I always like to tease myself. Not the protagonist. But I would be a bit angry, but I want to try the teasing one. Why not remove your own clothes if it feels unfair? Do not be unreasonable. It is not a matter of what is fair or not, but what is appropriate. Well, I won't be putting mine on. This is my home, and I'm comfortable like this. It wouldn't be courteous for me to be here while you are. He gestures awkwardly, refusing to look at her again. Unprepared for guests. Exactly why you should remove yours, make it even. He must know she's messing with him. She can tell from that angry furrow he's failing to hide between his brows, but he slips off his jacket anyway, hanging it over the side of the sofa. Satisfied? Her eyes linger appreciatively on the way his shirt stretches across his chest. Is it intentional that your shirts are always a size too small for you? If you intend to objectify me, I will be putting my jacket back on. She sighs dramatically. Never any fun, are you? As a vamp, shouldn't you know better than to enter a stranger's home without invitation? We are not strangers. We're not friends either. Acquaintances. Are you seriously trying to negotiate our level of familiarity? He eyes the balcony he just sneaked in through. I didn't mean to cause you any distress, but I had to make sure no one would know I was here. And you felt that creeping in through the balcony was the most discreet way to accomplish that. I was not creeping. Really? His eyes sweep down her body again. He clears his throat and pretends to be distracted by the posters lining her wall. I believe this is my first time seeing your flat. Do you watch a lot of films? Explain why you broke into my damn flat. Sneak it in. Don't be childish. It's not cute when you're like 200 years old. It's about the case that Seth was witness to. Did you release him already? Of course, we had no reason to hold him after questioning. No reason? I gave you a reason. Yes, I put in words with the SCD to look into him sooner than later. They mentioned they hadn't received any reports from you, however. Oops. I did not come here to talk about Seth. I need a favor. Will you do it? The request surprises her. She studies his face, waiting for the punchline. Well, will you? I can't believe my ears. The great Abraxas is asking for my help. Really? Do not make me repeat myself. It was difficult enough the first time. Even if she finds it hard to believe, Abraxas is definitely telling the truth. He barely even relies on his own agents, so for him to come to her, of all people, for help, it means he needs something badly enough to swallow his pride. I never expected to see the night. She's already set on not doing it, because why would she, in her right mind, ever help Abraxas? But that doesn't mean she's not curious. You're going to have to share more details before I decide. Have you heard of the incident at the Beaumont Museum? In passing. This must never become public knowledge, but the gas leak was a cover-up coordinated by us at the SSF. Wow! Who could have ever imagined? Magic triggered the explosion. The burst of energy was so powerful that, should our culprit have wished to, they could have destroyed far more than a single wing. At worst, I fear they might even be able to burn down half of North Haven. Oh my god, really? My agents and I have determined it cannot be a mere accident. This was an intentional attack. I see. Unfortunately, it gets worse. The wing that was destroyed harbored several magical artifacts, one of which is now missing. You should be grateful then. They could have stolen all of them. I sent my team to clean up the scene and deal with any witnesses. That's when they found the initials JM spray painted on a wall. JM. Okay. JM. Do we know any JM in here? Whoever or whatever this JM is, it is our only lead. Couldn't you trace the magic from the explosion? Circe knows for a fact that the SSF North Haven branch has a very talented witch in their ranks. She even happens to be Abraxas' second in command. We suspect it was caused by the artifact itself, which didn't leave any residue from the user behind. Okay, but why do you want me involved? The SSF regularly collaborates with the supernatural police, but that's it. They've never worked with Thorn investigations. And while Circe is not opposed to a challenge, she's no witch hunter. She knows vampires, she knows werewolves, she knows demons, but messing with the wrong wizard can have deadly consequences. It's common sense to not get involved in their affairs. We were going to launch a full investigation into JM when we were explicitly told by people higher up the ladder to drop the case. Apparently, an outsider is being sent from elsewhere to continue the investigation. I take it that's unusual? not necessarily. There have been cases where we've collaborated with external parties, but the key word there is collaboration. Never in all the time I have worked for the SSF have I been locked out of a case in this manner. So it probably concerns something that the higher ups don't want to be found or something? I don't know. Oh, come on, you've lived long enough to know there's a first for everything. I know. Still, I'm suspicious of their intentions. I have no real reason to be, no actual evidence, nothing to work with but presentiment. But I cannot shake the feeling that something is wrong. Since when do you care? What was the artifact? Seth was the only witness. I kind of want to know if the thing with Seth... What was the artifact? Seth was the... Why he took Seth? I kind of want to know. Seth was the only witness? The only witness who might have seen anything of note, at least. We've interviewed all the others and we learned nothing. Who might have? I thought you brought him in for questioning. We did, however, we were told to drop the case before we could ask him anything worthwhile. Yeah, there's something going on here with the higher ups. Once again, the SSF proved to be embarrassingly incapable. Not our finest work, I know. What was the artifact? Okay. You said an artifact was stolen. What exactly was it? If I knew, I would have told you. I doubt that. I mean it. I know no more beyond the little I have already shared with you. Which is like... nothing? It was hidden in plain sight inside Renaud Beaumont's private collection. We had planned to contact him about it before we were ordered to drop the case. So all we know is that it can make stuff go boom. Not the exact words I would use, but essentially yes. Who's to say that power didn't come from the person yielding the artifact? Abraxas firmly shakes his head like he's already ruled that option out. There are wizards and witches capable of things our minds cannot imagine, but it would be suicide to release a burst of energy that large without assistance. When magic's involved, nothing's impossible. I suppose still I would say it's too likely to be worth consideration. So why do you care? Since when do you care? I thought it wasn't any of your business if the laws enforced by your superiors might be unfair to us non-humans. I know what you think of me, Miss Circe, but I'm not your enemy. The SSF do what we must to protect supernaturals from humans and them from us. Sometimes that means the occasional casualty on our side. Our side, he says. When has he ever been on our side? Anyhow, given the things you get up to in your own time, I do not think you should be judging anybody else. I'll judge whomever I want, whenever I want. I don't kill vamps out of some sense of moral superiority. I kill them because it's fun and it pays the bills. Maybe that makes me a bit of a bitch, so what? I'm not so sanctimonious that I need to pretend my actions are morally justified. Are you really so irredeemable when you only kill the bad ones? Don't paint me as some sort of anti-heroine. All vampires are bad, even you. Especially me. Same goes for humans, werewolves, witches, you name it. We're all equally capable of bad and good. That's why it means something when we choose to do good. Abraxas doesn't look surprised by her speech. He may not know the full extent of what Circe used to get up to before North Haven, but unlike Edgar, he can surely imagine. This is Circe on her best behavior. And if you ever have the misfortune of meeting her at her worst, well, good luck. I only target the so-called bad ones because I don't need any more trouble with the law than I already have. Also, if someone's willing to pay to see you dead, not once but twice, you are probably an asshole anyway. Abraxas shakes his head. He gives up on adding anything to this conversation, returning to the previous subject. Technically, I am not betraying orders. It's not me who's investigating this, after all, it is you. And if you happen to feed some information back to me, then that is simply how it goes. Loophole of the century. Circe folds her arms over her chest. I'll help you under one condition. Why are you making that face? You haven't even heard what I have to say yet. Fine, state your terms. It's quite simple. If you're so desperate for my help, beg for it. No. He moves to leave, but she blocks his path. Always so uptight. Let me rethink this. Abraxas just stares, waiting. She takes her time, hemming and hawing, simply for the amusement of keeping him in suspense. Oh, all right, I'll do it. His glare softens, only barely, but enough for her to notice. Thank you. Don't thank me. I'm not doing it for you. It just sounds like a compelling case, far more interesting than anything I've worked on lately. Maybe this is what will fish her out of her slump. Keep her running Thorn investigations for another 20 years. You'd better pay us, though, and provide a generous tip. Everyone knows Abraxas sits on a monstrous amount of generational wealth from his previous life. Really? You're rich? Something she might as well use to her advantage here. That can be arranged. Perfect. Now give me a moment to get dressed and I'll get you out of here. There's no need, I have my own way. The balcony again? Absolutely not, Romeo. His eyes shift to the door, brows drawing together. He's that conflicted about this. Perhaps it's because he's never broken the rules in the past. He fears the consequences should anyone learn that he's disobeying orders. The SSF have no reason to monitor your every move. Even if someone does find out that you come here, surely you're quick-witted enough to think of an excuse on the spot, like, I was just passing the night with her or something. Yes, you're right. There are plenty of reasons why I might come to see you. Plenty, you say? Such as? He rolls his eyes and any previous hints of vulnerability vanish. Never mind that. Get dressed. I do not have all night and neither do you. Just for the attitude, I'll make sure to take my sweet time. Circe leads Abraxas downstairs so he can leave through the front door like a normal person. In their office, a freshly shaven Edgar's... Was it because she told him about the beard? In their office, a freshly shaven Edgar's made himself comfortable behind his desk. His meat bite on a biscuit when they enter. Take that out of your mouth so we can understand. He swallows. Why is he here? Good to see you too, Thorn. Pleasure's all yours, prick. Edgar's nasty glare softens only slightly when his eyes shift to Circe. I repeat, why is he here? Is he jealous? And why was he upstairs? Yeah. And how did he even get in? I've been here over an hour. The door's been shut the entire time. Did he show up during the day? Did you spend all... Before you let your imagination run to places I don't even want to imagine, how about you shut up and let me talk? Like, because it's... Go on. You are right, we did spend the day. He did what? I didn't. Abraxas looks to Edgar. I didn't. Denying it twice makes you sound totally guilty. But you know it isn't true. Why must you always make up nonsense? And if I'll believe that anyway, neither of you could stand each other for that long. Now tell me the truth, what's he doing here? I'm standing right here, Thorn. You could simply ask me. Or I could not. Abraxas sneers. In that case, I shall leave the explanation to your boss. Edgar lifts his plate. You're going to piss off now, right? Have a biscuit before you go, fresh from our neighbor. I can't. Oh, that's right. You can't eat. I can, but the taste is repulsive and I cannot properly digest it, meaning I would have to... Abraxas pauses. Ah, you're mocking me. Edgar stuffs a cookie in his mouth. Took you long enough. Abraxas focuses on Circe again. Report to me as soon as you find something. You know where to find me. Yes, sir. Edgar lights a cig after Abraxas leaves. She waits for his patient to wear thin. It doesn't take long. So? He wants us to look into something. She explains everything to Edgar. Same as her, he is baffled that Abraxas would ignore a direct order from his superiors. It doesn't make sense. I know, that's why it's interesting. Some measly initials aren't much of a lead, though JM could be a person, an organization, or a movement. How would we know? Only one way to find out. Let's split up and check in with our contacts around the city to see if they've heard anything. You know which side is yours. Right. Enjoy your biscuits. I'll head out first. She walks up to the window. She's moments away from transforming when Edgar calls out. Circe, be careful, please. Worry about yourself, old man. 20 years ago, I was a boy. Today, I'm an old man. Give it another 10 years and I'll be dust and cobwebs in your eyes. It's a compliment. I like older men. I liked it. It's not a compliment. You have extremely questionable tastes. don't downplay your sex appeal. Your creaky knees and back issues especially are oh so attractive. Enough. Don't you have somewhere to be? Try not to miss me too much. Circe transforms, circling Edgar once before she flies out of the window and into the night. Thorn Investigations has established a trusted net of sources around North Haven over the past 2 decades. From small businesses owners to working girls to regular everyday people oblivious to the supernatural world, you never know who might have the intel you need. But tonight, none of their usuals has anything useful for Circe. No one's heard of the initials before. For her last stop, Circe catches Nisha away from Elysium on her smoke break. Long time no see, Circe. Nisha, Les' right hand, has secretly worked as an informant for Thorn Investigations for years now. She's a street-smart human who enjoys making a little extra on the side. Although I'm not sure what she needs it for, from what I've heard, Lazarus pays her plenty and more. Then again, given that she's basically running his business for him, there's probably nothing he could pay Nisha that would be enough for the work she does. Anyway, I appreciate that Nisha's a businesswoman. Greed is easy to work with. Heard you stopped by Elysium last night. Paid Les a quick visit. And you didn't think to come say hi to me? You'd have liked that. I'm not gonna lie, it hurts a bit, though I thought we were friends. Sure, if you say so. But I didn't come here to catch up. Ow, you didn't? Well, what are you here for then? Have you seen the initials JM around lately? Nisha shrugs. No, is that someone important? Another dead end. Don't even know if it's a who or a what yet, but if you hear anything... Nisha tips her imaginary hat to Circe. You'll be the first to know, of course. Thanks. Nisha butts out her cig on the nearest wall. If that's all, I should get back inside. Elysium doesn't run itself. Lazarus still leaving all the work to you, right? He pulls his weight. Sometimes. Kick him in the balls for me when you see him next. I quite like this job, so I will not be doing that. But you have my respect for your commitment to hating him. It's a lifestyle at this point. Ah! Nisha waves her goodbye and disappears inside the abandoned building. Circe sighs and returns to the streets. Let's see if Edgar had better luck. So I came in here to do just this quick demo, and I don't know, I think we're going into like 5 hours or something. I don't know. I thought it was just going to be like a quick thing, like 1 or 2 hours, and we've been here for longer. You might hear like some sound from my oven because I need to start doing things. I cannot be here. But I wanted to record the video during the morning. And I kind of wanted to finish this, but I don't even know does these go for even longer? Let's see it. The lights are on when Circe enters the office. Edgar must have gotten back first. If you're here already, I guess you didn't find anything worthwhile either. She stops at the doorstep. Oh, you can't be serious. 2 break-ins in one night? It's the mysterious girl. Edgar's nowhere to be seen. Standing behind his desk is the mysterious woman who from last night. Finally, Circe can see the woman for what she really is. A witch. Yeah, that's how I was thinking like maybe she's a witch. A very powerful one. If she is able to conceal her magic like that. There you are. I've been waiting for you. Her eyes leave the streets outside to meet Circe's gaze. They stare at each other for a long bit, neither willing to break eye contact or begin the conversation. Eventually the woman smiles, impressed for some reason. You have a spine, a quality I respect, as long as one does not mistake it as a suitable replacement for competence. As you are doing right now? The woman laughs. You have a sense of humor as well. That's good. When Circe still doesn't move, the woman pushes away from the wall to stand up straight. She's tall in the same way models are. It should be pointless, ridiculous, inappropriate thought to have in this moment. And yet Circe can't help but feel that there's something unnatural about how bewitching the woman before her is. Apologies and introductions are in order. Which would you prefer to hear first? You choose. Oh, well, if you insist. My name is Nocturne. I'm not a local, but perhaps my accent gave that away already. A witch from who knows where. She's looking for the person behind the explosion at Beaumont Museum for reasons. Amongst the many strange circumstances of the situation, Circe barely noticed the subtle French accent. Not a French person. I'm sorry to ambush you like this in your own office, but you're a busy lady. It is not so easy to catch you alone. Please do not worry. I truly meant you no harm. I don't even know how to do it. Am I expected to just believe that? Apparently so, because Nocturne continues talking like nothing's out of the ordinary. It really is a pleasure to meet you, Circe. I have heard terrible things about you and the work you do, which means you must be good at it. Whatever you've been told, I'm worse. Do you believe everything you hear? What sort of terrible things? The 3 of them are good. I don't even know what to pick. Okay. Okay, kind of arrogant on the first one. Kind of like mysterious on the second one. What sort of terrible things? And in the third one, you're just curious. So, I don't know, like, it's kind of arrogant too, but do you believe everything you hear? I confirm what I need to, of course. So not only have you been going around fishing for information on me, but you have also been fact-checking said information. It would be rather careless of me if I didn't. But it appears my inquiries have offended you. Please do not take it personally. I always do a thorough background check before I hire someone. Another person trying to hire us. Circe narrows her eyes at the witch. You want to hire me for what exactly? Nocturne doesn't look like she requires any help killing your typical street vamp, so it's definitely not for that. The same thing everyone hires you for. I'm looking for someone. I want you to find them. Right. Unfortunately for you, I'm quite busy at the moment, so I won't be able to take your case. Goodbye. Nocturne's voice is firm even as her perfect smile stays painted on. You are already looking for them. Who? So JM is the person. I presume so. The person they are pretending to be the real JM was a brilliant young witch. But who knows when it comes to this imposter? They could be anyone for all we know. Is she saying this because the JM is her? And she's like kind of offended because there's an imposter pretending to be her. How do you know it's an imposter? Why couldn't it be the real JM? Because she's dead. She's dead. Maybe too. Nocturne's tone is so detached, Circe can hardly believe this isn't all one big joke. She's dead? Quite dead, yes. I would know, I killed her. Yeah, you killed her, but maybe it can be herself, you know? I don't know if it's that. She's dead. And you killed her. Murdered, slew, killed, whichever word you prefer. Assuming that's even true, why would you admit that to a complete stranger? I told you I have done my research. I know everything I need to know to determine that you are capable of this job. If I did not believe you were capable, I would not be here. I'm not a witch who wastes her time on whims. Throughout this conversation, Nocturne's smile has never fallen. Until now. You must understand it is most important to me that this person is found. I want the best detective possible on the job, and I believe that to be you. So you will take my case. You will find the imposter and the artifact they got their thieving little hands on. You will bring them both to me, and you will not disappoint. She smiles again. Money is of no consequence to me, so you will of course be well compensated for your efforts. Huh? For once, Circe is generally at a loss for words, but Nocturne doesn't seem to mind. I'll take your silence to mean you accept, yes? Finally. I mean, it was good. It's just that, as I said, I was just expecting something for like, I don't know, 1-2 hours, and it's like going for like 5 probably. Yeah, I think it's okay. It's good. I like it, and I'm curious about the continuation. I'm also curious about Dante's route as well. I kind of wonder, maybe her route is like with these ones, and his route is with these ones that we didn't saw, right? We didn't saw any of these guys on the other side. I was just kind of wondering if she could like date him too, or the other way around. I don't know. Other things. Okay, so other things about the game. It's the settings that I wanted to say. You have the opportunity to choose the type of font that you want in here if you are dyslexic. They also allow you to put like another type of text size too. I think the graphics are good. The script seems good too. Soundtrack is good too. Yeah, it's very recommendable. That's what I wanted to say. So you can check it out on Steam and do the demo yourself. And I hope you have fun and that you had a good time in here too. And see you next time.